with this great idea, and she contacted this wonderful church and said, we'd like to help the parents. You know, some of our parents are just lost. They don't know how to help their kids. They don't know what to do with homework and stuff like that. And that's how we started this mission in our own backyard. Because if we don't do our own backyard, we need to do that first before we go internationally. So that's how we came to do this and to use our teaching profession and our talents to serve the area schools here. So we are partnering with Chase Oaks and to provide parents and caregivers. We don't want to leave the people like that are foster parents or anything out like that. And to give them kind of a curriculum night and love on their kids, and because we're going to provide childcare and stuff. So this is what we're going to do, and possibly maybe we'll do it in the spring. We don't know. We'll see after this weekend. So the vision is that the parents will sign up for a grade level. Now we're going to do it K through 2, 3rd through 5th, and 6th through 8th. So our vision is when they come in, like K through 2, we'll have a K table here, a first grade table there, second grade table, so that you as a teacher will know, okay, there's my kindergarten parents, there's my first grade parents, and kind of just give them an overall something. She's going to talk about that in a minute. So, and then while we're teaching their kids, the parents, we're going to be loving on their kids and just help support them. So we call it the Champion Conference because we want these parents to know that they are champions. Because, you know, a lot of us have worked in the Title I schools, and we're working in 5 of those: Mendenhall, Razor and Plano Terrace Elementary, Hartman Elementary, and Elementary. So these are your Title I schools, and Chase Oaks already has a relationship with these schools. So that's our end, because they've already done that. And then also, they'll be inviting parents from the ESL classes and other programs that the church is involved in. So here's our also vision, is to provide mentoring for parents, ways to help their children at home in areas of reading and math and homework. We want that a mindset, self-care, because we all get involved. As teachers, we forget about our own self-care. And these parents, you know, let's teach them. You need to take care of yourself too. Building positive relationships with their child's teacher, because raise your hand if you've taught in Title I. I think most of us have. So you know that relationship, sometimes you have to work on it, or they don't want to come to school, or you know they think, oh, I don't have my green card or whatever. So we want them to feel comfortable at those teacher-parent conferences. So maybe give them some ideas to calm their fears and to get involved in PTA and why that's beneficial.
Yes. So we need you guys. With what Patty was saying, like our vision and what we want to share with the parents, you know, we're talking about just kind of like if you were to have just a great parent-teacher conference with a parent that you have a good relationship with. Or if you had a parent who was saying, okay, I really need some help on like what I can do with my child in math and reading and getting them connected, what would you share with them just in that little amount of time? So we don't want it to be too academic and too like broad scope. So like those of you who have been with us to Jamaica, we're not talking about like busting out all of your math strategies for problem solving, but just, hey, if you're at home, you know, one of the things that's really big is like that you're doing fact fluency. You know, if you're in K2, it's that you're counting, like playing dice games, and you know that you're, you know, getting them to subitize and like, but practicing those games with them. So kind of the same concept, in that we would share the activity and then ideally have a chance to practice that activity. And then we're hoping that enough of us have some resources in our closets and attics, I know I do, that we can maybe even be able to give those. And like, we're going with the mindset that like what we've been saving and holding up for Jamaica these last 2 years, we just feel like He has provided that, and that He will provide more stuff for us in the future. So that we're being good stewards of our resources by sharing that with the families we have around us, because that's our mission field. And, it's our mission field, but this is kind of where we're going for right now. In the meantime, I guess. So we're just looking at kind of like a short little curriculum night. If tips that you could give, or like what you would give, like, you know, your girlfriend who's struggling to connect with her teacher, you know, and, you know, hey, have you sent the school an email? Have you checked on tutoring? Like any of those things, just kind of giving those parents that permission to have that connection and keep that communication with their school going. Chase Oaks works really hard, and I've kind of talked about this. They have amazing relationships with these schools. They go in and do like different like fairs. They help with different fundraisers. They do, this church right now is doing like a huge back to school drive, and they don't just donate the supplies, they set them up as like a school, so families that are in need can come in and pick out the materials that they want. So there's a lot of dignity in that, and they really work hard with that. They do, they have, they're relaunching their Local Good, which is kind of like a one-stop shop for anything and everything that a family could need help with. Whether it's like parenting classes, getting a job, doing job training, helping with their resume, getting them plugged in with like local businesses in the community. So we're kind of hoping that that will help them too, that will be a resource and kind of a connection point for them with that. But with that, they have their ESL classes, and they have a huge ESL program. And so we know that they're sharing this with them too. So we're hoping that we'll have a lot of that population join us, which is great, because those, in my experience, it's some of those families that feel a little bit more timid to open up and share when they're struggling with something, or not sure how to help at home, or the lines of communication aren't as open. So we're hoping that if they're coming and they're joining us to hear that information, that will be a great opportunity to share that. So in my brain, it's like keeping it really simple. So not, you know, hours of a presentation, but maybe 15, 20 minutes, some time to practice, and then just some time to answer questions. And so you could do that for like a math group or a reading group, and then that we would have kind of, I don't know what we're really calling that, like mindset communication. But I think as long as we're plugging like the importance of the relationship and communicating back and forth with your teacher into that math group and that reading piece, I think that's nice. Does that make kind of sense? Yeah, okay.
And we're here to answer questions if we know, I mean,
Yeah,
this is an evolving kind of thing. If God tells you you're gonna teach this, you teach it for 15 minutes.
Yeah, we were
So-
talking, our vision is that the groups are about 45 minutes, and then the parents would rotate, and so we have kind of different areas set up. So we would have like a K2 area, we would have a 3-5 area, and then have a middle school area, and that group of parents could go into the middle, or could go to the math section, then go to the math section, reading section, and then mindset, self-help section, communication, to that other section. So they would just rotate that group. So you're coming up with one set to teach, and you'll just teach it 3 times. In the event our sections are smaller and we don't have as many parents, we teach it 2 times and then help with that 3rd section. So,
Yes.
but yeah, if you guys, like, if you think, man, this has been something that I think, especially like we were talking about doing virtual last year, that's where my heart is. Like, I just see a huge gap, especially in our kiddos that have been virtual, and it's been great that they've had that, and hopefully they've had a lot of parent support, but there's also gonna be a lot of gaps. So like, if you guys have like an area on your heart that you feel, hey, this would be really good for us, that we need to teach, then when your group comes together to plan that day, like, share that, and we can just run with it.
So in our 45 minutes, we're not doing math and reading and mindset, we're just doing reading.
Yeah.
And doing like activities, and then they practice and answer questions.
Yeah.
And then they're rotating to math.
Yeah.
And then ideally, and then somebody's doing a mindset session.
Right.
So in
Yeah.
that morning, they're getting 3 different things.
Yes. Yeah, just like they would have if they were at the conference. They're getting a little bit of everything. And then like if you were doing reading, you know, like, I know as a teacher, one of the biggest things, just that they read I don't care what you read, I don't care if someone reads to you, you read to someone, you call your grandma and you read to her, just read something. So, but at the K2 level, that looks a little bit different. So it might be, like, I know I have like those really cute little check marks, like for comprehension, and it had the questions on them. So it might be that we come with parents with, you know, those questions ready to hand out, or like I sent home with my parents like a before, during, and after reading comprehension, like a spinner. It may be that we're giving that to them, but then we're practicing how to use that. So do at curriculum night, you know, or like at your beginning of the year packet, but that we're actually gonna talk to them about it instead of just sticking it into the folder and sending it home. So yeah, good question.
And we feel like too, if we're going to feed them and just love on them as they come in, and maybe they'll feel comfortable enough to us as a teacher that we can say, okay, it's really good that you get into the parent-teacher conference, you know. Don't be afraid to ask questions, you know. If we can build that relationship with them first and then bring in those other aspects. So, also we just need all kinds of people. We need people to help with registration, greeters. We do wanna have a little shop that they can go shop, for things that they think they need for their kids. I mean, we want probably each parent to go home with 2 to 3 books in their hands, which that's nothing, you know, with all the books I have, you have, and things like that. So, that's what we're doing stuff. Just, yes, ma'am. No, please say.
In regards to your jobs, I know you mentioned that before when you were doing your Zoom call, but can you have like, high school students are always needing volunteer minutes. So that's why I was wondering, like, can we have high school students doing like the greeter, like some of these
Yeah.
positions? Is that
Yeah.
an opportunity?
Yeah, I think the only thing they can't do is childcare.
Right, yeah, no.
Yeah, but that's, yeah,
I'm like, with some of
absolutely.
this, like the shop organizer, like some of this stuff.
Oh, yeah,
Serving food.
Serving
reading,
food, yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah. And then another thing is that, we're going to allow, I think, we're gonna try to have it open that for each session, there's gonna be 20 parents. That's our hope. So what we thought, okay, so if you have 20 parents, we'll have 2 teachers teaching that you can bounce ideas off of, and then also we'll have facilitators at the table. So maybe, Brittany and I are up here teaching, and then if one of the parents doesn't understand, they can ask their facilitator, what does she really mean by that? Or what does, art mean? Or something like that. So, along with whoever's teaching, y'all might be selected to be the facilitator at the table. And then also the facilitator would play the game or the practice there time and stuff like that.
Yeah, just like a small group.
Alright, so as you can see, we have lots of jobs and we need lots of people. Oh, the other thing I didn't say is that 2 of our schools, Razor and Mendenhall, we're gonna have Spanish speaking people here. And, we need Spanish teachers.
Yes, so if you have friends that are bilingual, especially in English and Spanish, because I know with them connecting with the ESL, with their ESL program, we have an opportunity to like really be able to reach out to that community, and so that would be amazing. So we would love to be able to offer math and reading in K2 Spanish, and offer 3-5 math and reading in Spanish. So if you know people that are open to that and available,
We have a couple that didn't make it tonight, and we have a couple that we would really like to have more. If we can only have 1 Spanish teacher per thing, we need 9. If we need 2 per, we need 18. So if you know any Spanish speakers, that would be great. And then also, y'all would, like, the English part and the Spanish part would get together and you're gonna teach the same thing. Just one in Spanish and one in English. This is just what she said. So I'm kinda gonna go more into that. So this is kind of what it might be like from 8:30 to 9. We have registration and food and come in here, and then, I'll do a short presentation, a short devotional, short welcome, and then, at 9 o'clock we'll break out to the sessions. There'll be 45 minutes and 15 minutes in between. Just to give time to move and stuff. And then from 11:45 to 12:30, we'll come back in here and just have some encouraging thoughts and prayer and shopping. Good luck.
and Chase Oaks was asking, like, if we were open with keeping connections with families, and so we put it as, you know, we're like, that's really up to our teachers, but that was something that they felt like would be amazing. So to me, like, if this is a time like where, you know, you have a chance to sit and pray with someone, or, you know, hey, is there anything else I can help you with? I don't know if Local Good will be able to be here where we can actually say, hey, you know, like, this is a great place to get connected with but it's at least a time that we have to have those conversations where we don't, as teachers, we don't hardly ever get to have those conversations at school. So we're hoping that since they already have that connection with Chase, that Chase Oaks has that connection with the school, that they'll feel comfortable enough sharing that, and we can help meet some of their other needs as well, so.
So our date is?
So, our date is October 16th from 8:30 to 12:30. And while that does not sound like it's really soon, it really is really soon. It will come quickly, especially with y'all, that are going back to school, getting back in the swing of things, and y'all know how fast that whole first month goes, and then we're in September, and then, oh my gosh, it's gonna be October. So, we have a few other dates for you, to keep in mind. They're on the back of your sheet. And actually, I don't know if there's one on the front or not. I don't know if your sheet looks like mine, but, August 1st is when we would like to ask that, you let us know your decision. Some of you have already done that. You've already done the Google sheet, and I'm so sorry I did not get my QR code done for you to just do that up today. But for the rest of you who have not signed up yet, I will send you the Google sheet, and you can go ahead and, let us know what your preference is. We're asking you to tell us your first, second, and third preference, and then we're placing you where we need you the most. And then September 11th is a day that we have set aside here with Chase Oaks to come, that we'll be able to come here and meet from 9 to noon, and that will give you a chance to meet with your teams, and we'll let you know who your team is sometime in August, but I'm not giving you a firm date yet. But we will let you know before that September 11th date, and give you the contact info for, whoever your team is gonna be, if you wanna touch base before then. But September 11th is a time we set aside that you can come here, have some time to do some planning and put a face, to the name on your little sheet. And then October 16th is when we're doing the conference. And so those are our two, real big dates, or three big dates, I guess. We just need to know by August 1st if you're committed to help us with this. And then on the 11th, we'll come and we'll plan. So,
on the supplies, when would you want that from you? Or just bring it, look at it?
we are working on that.
We're gonna let you
Well, yeah, we have talked about it, and we're not sure just yet, but, that will be in your little info email.
It could be on September 11th, or it could be October 16th. We've even tossed the idea around, and this is just an idea, y'all can tell us if you like it or not. We thought about letting them go shop, but then that would take time, so we thought about getting bags. And just, here's a kindergarten bag. And it's gonna have books and a couple of kindergarten activities or whatever and stuff like that, and just hand it to them.
So like if y'all, sorry.
Go ahead.
So like if we brought stuff on Saturday, it would be nice, because then you could be like, oh, I wanna play this math game with dice. Oh, hey, I have 40 dice right here. And so then you would kind of know, and then, yes. So we're kind of, but that's also a lot of work so we're just kind of kicking around ideas. It's a lot of work for, the guy to get pens, write stuff, and then we get it all out, and then we gotta figure out
Has
what
to
to do
be
after
packed
that.
up, and where does it go?
Yeah.
So
it
we're
might be-
figuring all that out.
It might be the day of, and then we have all these high school students here to help us, and have, so the people that, us that are not teaching, we could be doing that with those high school kids, and then at the end, we're handing it out.
Just like in Jamaica, those who have been with us, we picked up bags, and then.
Which then, like if it were me and I was teaching math and I need dice, then I would probably go through my supplies and maybe see if I have dice. And then when you come that day, you can see if, I would bring whatever I think I have that I would use, and you'll tell me no problem. And then, or I can at least be like, okay, our group would love to have dice to do, does anybody have an extra dice? Yes, and just kind of share. Right, so if you talk with your group ahead of time, you may kind of know what you need and the direction you wanna go. And if you're doing that Saturday, it may just look a little bit different. But we, let me speak for, but we will organize something like that where we can get materials shared, kind of like we have before. You know, like this is what I need, what do you have? And just kind of trade materials back and forth.
And it could be like if you're teaching math and you want everybody to have dice, you just hand it out to them during your session.
Right.
But then we'd have kind of general stuff in the back. Good question. But we'll get back to you. So I think we've talked through this, so what does it entail? It entails one meeting, and that's gonna be a 4-hour meeting. I think you give you 4 hours, we'll provide some breakfast. And orange juice, and, you'll just plan that day, and hopefully you can get all your planning done. Maybe you'd have to touch base a couple more times, just to touch base, but basically it's that, and then the day of.
And Chase Oaks has said that they would run copies for us.
Yes.
So if you planned that day and you decided you had handouts you wanted to do and you didn't wanna do them on your own, then we could get those handouts done. Just not sure what that might look like on getting it back to you, but we can get the copies made. But we'll get all that worked out. They're being fabulous, so.
Yes. So, it doesn't entail much planning, it doesn't cost anything, we're not going to Jamaica. It does provide us a mission in our own backyard, and it does let us love on parents. So, and this is talking about the store that we've already talked about. So, and those are dates. That's also on the back of your.
So on August 30th, we will let you.
So on here, on September 11th, it says 9 to 1, on here it says 9 to 12, so.
Oh, yeah,
So,
ish.
ish.
Extra hour for you overachievers.
Just planning that.
So, all right. And so this is what's going out to the parents. And, we've worked on this project for a long time, but, we thought we'd put free books in there and free snacks, so maybe that'll help us out, so. And then, we have another person that couldn't be here tonight, she's translating it in Spanish for us.
And then also with this, our plan anyway was to release this out to those 5 schools that Chase Oaks already has a partnership with. And then if we still have openings, we might as well fill those spots. So then we would open them up to whomever until we filled our conference. So if you wanted to invite friends that you feel like this would be a good resource for them. Like I have a friend, her family's just adopted 2 little kiddos into their family. Like they all of a sudden have a 5th grader and a 2nd grader. So like this would be great for them to come to. So anything like that. So we do want to try to fill the conference so you can, you know, be praying and thinking about these 5 schools, but it's really open to anyone in the community as long as we have space.
And it is going out to their ESL program and the Samaritan Inn
Yeah.
program, so.
Yeah, and then at the school zone, when they're giving out all the backpacks and the school resources, they'll have flyers in English and Spanish to hand out as well.
The only itty bitty glitch, and it's not much, but, right now at Chase Oaks, they're only allowing us to have 75 children in the childcare. So we were saying, okay, if we have 75 parents, that's probably 150 children. So it's just a first come, first serve for the children. So, we're hoping that the closer we get to that, we can open it up to more. Right now, they just don't have, the workers that are coming back, from COVID yet.
And we are not going to allow children into the sessions, just like we do in Jamaica. That's just, it's too distracting.
So, as a part of the Champions team, please pray about your participation in the mission and for the parents and children of our community. Most of you have already said yes, so,
Thanks.
your name is already on the paper.